Waiting for what? For someone like Lila. Ilia's eyes sparkled with curiosity. She had spent her days watching the birds, helping older villagers carry water, and leaving crumbs for ants so they wouldn't wander into kitchens. She had a quiet spirit, but a brave heart. That night, Ilia sat by the sapling, humming a lullaby her mother used to sing. A soft breeze circled her, and a single silver leaf from the original tree drifted down, landing gently in her lap. Her eyes widened. The sapling began to glow faintly. The next morning, villagers gathered to find the sapling blooming with tiny silver buds. They looked to Ramai. She heard it. He whispered, like Lila once did. From that day on, Ilia was known as Little Leaf, the next guardian of the trees. She helped children resolve their quarrels, calmed frightened animals, and sat for hours just listening to the wind, the earth, and people's hearts. Kindwood continued to grow, but not upward like a city instead. It grew inward. Gardens expanded, tree houses bloomed in the branches, libraries filled with stories of kindness were built. The whispering tree and its saplings formed a glowing forest that many called the Forest of Echoes, because when you whispered your hopes into the leaves, somehow the trees whispered back with comfort. One day, Ilia stood before the oldest tree and asked, "Do you think Lila is proud of me?" The tree rustled softly. In the rustle, she heard the whisper of 100 voices, Lila's among them. "You don't need to be me, Ilia. You are your own story, and you are loved." As news arrived from travelers, forests were being destroyed, animals driven from their homes, people growing colder, more fearful, and more divided. One evening, while Ilia sat beneath the oldest whispering tree, she felt a strange stillness in the air. The silver leaves stopped rustling. A single leaf fell into her hands. On it, glowing softly, were words she had never seen before. "When the world forgets its roots, remind it how to grow." She looked to Ramai, now older and walking with a staff carved from the branch of a fallen sapling. "I think it's time," Ilia said. "I have to go." Rami's eyes filled with both pride and sorrow. The world outside is harsher than here, but it also needs your light more than ever. Ilia set off at sunrise with nothing but a satchel of seeds, a journal of Lila's teachings, and a silver leaf tucked inside. Birds followed her, and forest animals watched from the trees. As she crossed the final bridge from Kindwood, the air felt heavier, the ground cracked and dry. She came to a land where trees were stumps, where factories coughed black smoke, and where children played beside piles of ash. At first, no one noticed her. But Ilia did not force kindness. She listened. She helped a limping dog find water. She planted a single seed in dry soil and sang to it every morning. She gave her own bread to a boy who hadn't eaten in 2 days. One day, a woman scolded her, "Why waste your time? One seed won't change this wasteland." But that very evening, rain fell for the first time in months. And in the morning, the tiny seed had sprouted. Word spread. The Kindwood girl brought the rain, they whispered. People began helping her. Children drew pictures of trees. Teenagers filled their pockets with seeds. Elders began to tell forgotten stories of green lands and clean rivers. The first new grove, together, they planted a small grove in the heart of the grayest city. The earth was stubborn, but the people were more stubborn and filled now with hope. As they worked, animals returned. Birds nested in lampposts. Bees hummed among the buds. Ilia wrote letters back to Ramai, who read them aloud under the whispering tree each week. "The world still has pain," she wrote. One night, Ilia dreamed of Lila. "You are not me," Lila whispered. "You are more. You are the echo, the voice, and the seed." Ilia awoke with a sense of peace. She placed her silver leaf into the soil of the first new tree she had planted. And from it rose a new whispering sapling, its leaves not silver, but glowing with a soft golden light. The golden sapling in the heart of the once withered land began to draw attention. Birds circled overhead. Flowers bloomed in cracks of pavement. The people who had once been hardened by suffering now smiled more freely. But as Ilia and the others built new gardens and schools made of stone and song, something stirred deep below the soil. It began with silence. No breeze. No birdsong. Then came the whispers not from the trees, but from the shadows. Why give when you can take? Why hope when it's easier to rule? Kindness is weakness.